Today I'm going to go over rational expressions from the Algebra 2 textbook, section 5.4, focusing on finding domain and zeros. So given this function, we're going to start by factoring the numerator and the denominator. In this case, the denominator is technically done for us. I'm also going to set my function equal to 0. In the numerator, I'm going to start by factoring out an x. So I have 3x squared minus x minus 2. The numerator I'm going to factor again by using trial and error. So to get a product of 3x squared, my first terms would be 3x times x. To get a product of 2, it's going to be 2 and 1. So I'm going to start by trying to put 2 first and then the 1. I need to check the inner and outer terms to make sure they combine to the negative 1x. So 2x and 3x times 1 is 3x, and if I subtract them, then I can get a 1. It would have to be a negative 3 and a positive 2. Just move my scratch work, so negative 3 and a positive 2 for that to be factored out, and then I can bring my denominator down. All right, from here, to simplify it, I could show that the x's cancel, but before I do that, I do want to look at the domain and the zeros. Domain, the easiest way to find domain is looking at the domain error. For a fraction, the denominator cannot be 0. So I'm going to start by setting my denominator equal to 0 so that I can figure out what would be in my domain error. So x equals 0, and the quantity of x plus 1 squared equals 0. The first one's already solved for, x equals 0, so that's my first domain error. In the second equation that I wrote, I would square root both sides. That would give me x plus 1 equals the square root of 0, which is plus or minus 0, or 0. Subtract 1 to both sides, x equals negative 1. So both of these values are in my domain error. So my solution would be all x values are real numbers, except x does not equal 0 and negative 1. All right, next we're going to do the zeros. The zeros represent the x-intercepts. So for the x-intercepts, I'm going to take a look at my numerator. First, I'm going to simplify my fraction so the x's cancel. And now I can take my remaining numerator, and I'm going to set each of those factors equal to 0. My first equation, I would get x equals negative 2/3, and in the second one, x equals 1. So that means my answers for my zeros is simply negative 2/3 and 1.